Happy birthday, America! 250 years ago, American colonists were sold on a revolutionary idea that government exists to serve the people and that its power comes only from the consent of the governed. Of course, these principles and grand ideas were presented by the wealthy land barons of the colonies who sought the transfer of power from the monarchy to themselves. As time pressed on, the pressure on American citizens to maintain their will was only accomplished through sacrifices, blood, and pure perseverance of the people rising up. The citizens did achieve some great changes in these United States. Slavery was abolished, civil rights expanded, women gained the right to vote. Millions received freedoms the slave-owning elitist founders themselves never could have imagined. But while our rights expanded, something else expanded too. Over generations, government made themselves larger, more permanent, intentionally more complex, and granted themselves more power. One new law, another new agency, more regulations, one emergency, one program at a time. No single law, no single president, no specific body of Congress transformed America. The accumulation of layering their own agendas did. The founders promised the people public servants, but somewhere along the way they began calling themselves our leaders. It may sound like a simple change in language, but language often reveals how we understand power. As government grew, corrupt influence followed. Campaign money, lobbying, special interests, corporations, unions, advocacy organizations, and wealthy donors all learned the same lesson. Influence the system before the public ever casts a vote, and they all get even richer at the expense of the people. The vote remained. But many Americans began asking a different question. What good is representation if it no longer provides meaningful control? Government is not a person. It is a system built layer upon layer over 250 years. Local, state, federal, courts, taxes, agencies, taxes, regulations, more taxes, procedures, even more taxes, institutions. Each addition may have made sense on its own. Together they created something no single generation ever voted for in its entirety. The founders built safeguards against kings. But for whom? What happens if the institutions themselves become the power? What happens when the mechanisms meant to keep representatives accountable is weakened by greed and narcissism? America's story was not to be one of freedom lost. It was to be a story of freedom gained. But the entrusted public servants twisted government into an institutional regime, permanent and insulated. The question at America's 250th anniversary is no longer simply whether we still have rights. The question is whether those rights still give citizens meaningful control over the government created in their name. The next 250 years may depend on how we, the people, decide to answer that question. God bless these United States of America, and for which it once stood, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.